How's everyone doing? Betty, how's everyone? I saw, what else did I see there? I saw a bunch of people. Donna Schultz is there. Just scrolling down, not saying anything, but just scrolling, as you can see. Hello, Anna, Veronica.
Dan, Dana, Celine, Deb, Patricia, Anne Marie, Kathy.
She does that real nonchalantly. You see that? Like, you can't even tell she's reading and just reading random names.
What can I say? Hi, hi, hi.
Hello, Alex. Hello, Heather.
Hey,
How are
Heather.
you? I'm going to move this.
Real quick before we get into the meat and gravy, so to speak.
The meat and the gravy.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody out there who has shown so much support and stuff for my daughter's situation. So I can't thank you guys enough. There aren't words that I can say to communicate how absolutely grateful I am that you guys are jumping in to help out the situation that she's in right now. So from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you, thank you so much. I don't take any of this lightly at all, and I'm very grateful for all of you. So thank you very much.
And that's all she's going to say. And John will take the next 56 minutes and 30 seconds.
I give you all this. Thank you.
Travis said he loves you.
I love you guys right back, all of you. You guys mean the world to me. I mean, it's just like, tough times. I mean, we all have them. We all know what it's like to go through things that are unexpected, and they're way out in the country where they don't have access to a lot of things too. So, I know what you guys are a community to us and everything. And my daughter's never experienced anything like that. And they're giving people. They just give everything they've got to anything and anyone. And she's very prideful too. So she doesn't ask for help. And the fact that you guys are doing this, she's beside herself right now. She can't believe that people who don't know her are doing this. She just, I just called her a few minutes ago, and she says I'm gonna have to talk to you and call you back because I don't even know how to let all of these people know what this means. So I just want to tell you, it's an emotional tough time right now. A really tough time.
Hello, Tina. And how are you? So, busy, always busy. Getting ready to meet tomorrow. Tomorrow we're meeting John Zaffis down at New Hope at the new Creeper Gallery. If you haven't been, you should go. 129 South Main Street.
Yeah, thank you, Christopher.
New Hope, Pennsylvania. We're going to meet John down there around lunchtime. Check out the shop. We do plan on going live with John, and he's going to check out the objects, walk around the shop, and like I said, we'll go live with him as much as we can while we're there. I mean, that's the whole purpose of him being there, is to check out the shop and to go on. And there's documented proof of him being there. That's important because no one would believe otherwise.
Dan and Celine are going there Sunday.
Yeah. So look for that tomorrow. Again, you guys might not be home or around when we initially do go live, but you'll be able to watch it later. And, check out John touring the shop and his opinions and his thoughts on the different objects. And, we're doing an event with him Saturday, which we're trying to figure out the logistics of. We've done objects before events before with objects and the building, which seems to be the new fad because other people are doing it. Big surprise. But we're trying to figure out how to give people both, and it's hard to gauge on what people want more. Do they want to investigate John's objects more than go around the building, or 50-50? So we're trying to come up with a happy medium number because it's only a 4-hour event. We got to do all that stuff. So it'll be fun regardless. We're going to figure it out. And I don't know which objects he's bringing. I'm sure we'll be able to take pictures and we'll go over all of that after the event. Sunday or Monday when we recap it. But I'm curious what he's going to bring. I don't see John bringing anything dark. I hope he would, but I don't see that happening. It doesn't strike me as like that type of, although who knows? We haven't really talked. We didn't talk about it at all as far as
You have no idea
what he's bringing. We have no clue what he's bringing with him for Saturday. Whatever it is, we're gonna do it the same that we've always done it. And again, we're the first. He's let other people into the museum and bring their equipment. A few. We actually um, toured the museum, but we didn't have any gadgets with us or anything. And now we're actually going to be able to. He's bringing them out to the public, which he hasn't done. So that'll be a first. I mean, he's doing that again on September 14th. So that's another a 7th. I keep getting those dates mixed up. September 7th, he's going to be back at Camp Evans with his objects. So that one's not sold out yet. So you missed this one, or you want to do it again, we'll probably have him bring different objects in September so we don't do the same ones again. So get those tickets because I don't know if he's going to keep doing that, but he's allowing us to do it. But it's cool. I thought you were going to say something, but guess not. Yeah, definitely go to the Creeper Gallery. Not really. We can't do it this weekend because we're doing it on Friday, but there will come a day where we're down there on a Sunday when Donna is there. Yep. And maybe you guys will meet us down there and we'll do a big group meetup.
And we'll let you know ahead of time too. So
no, we're just going to tell you like when we're there.
Well, we've done that where we just pop in. So we will post that we're going to go so everybody knows ahead of time.
Yes, we've done it before and people have showed up and we had a good time. But definitely worth checking out and supporting Donna and the shop like you guys have been doing. Again, we appreciate anyone we support that you guys support. It gives us the opportunities that I'm watching her laugh at something.
They're saying about when you told we had John's Apples on, he was talking about throwing that doll over the thing, the cops thought he threw a body over the bridge.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
We were talking to John about people kind of faking it in the paranormal world and the different things that have come up here and there with different people. And, we love John and we back John. And as far as legitimacy, John is top of the food chain and what I believe. And I said to him, look, man, there better not be a video that comes out one day of you dumpster diving and getting those haunted objects because I will never, ever forgive you if you did that because I've talked you up all these years. And if there's ever a video of you pulling out an old Raggedy Ann doll out of a dumpster, that is it, man. I will be out of the paranormal for good.
Oh, Lord.
No way. Yeah, that's a hot story in the paranormal with people saying different things about different, but it is what it is. Again. But that's tomorrow, so it'll be cool to go down to New Hope. I don't think John's been down there to visit the shop ever. And believe it or not, Chris will say something before this live stream is over.
When I'm ready.
There it was. Did you miss it? Because it's coming around again. It'll sooner or later. But anyway, what's weird is we've been doing this, I don't know how many years we've been doing New Jersey paranormal things, and never in our history have we been contacted by a German social club. Not once in 20 years of doing this. This year alone.
Yeah. How strange is that, right?
I don't know if the word has gotten out. New Jersey Paranormal and these German social clubs. Maybe there's something going on there. But 2 now. We just got contacted by another one a couple of weeks ago. I didn't realize it was I thought it was just a club, right? Rotary club for a township. We've done those before. This is another German social club. And this one is in Clark.
But you know what's really strange about these clubs? It's a German club and like that is that, which blew my mind, that their members are dying out that speak German. Like they don't have
Well, that one in Clark appears to have big gatherings.
followings.
Yeah,
I would love to see how
I
many
was
of them
checking
are
out
like
their social media page, and I was like, whoa. I mean,
Well,
but here's another club that wants us to come in and check it out. They were like, I thought they just wanted us to lecture.
right.
But now they're like, no, come in and check out.
Well, they asked
building.
us initially to lecture, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden today they go, "Oh, by the way,
Check out the building.
we'd really
too.
like you to check out the building on top of it."
So,
just like we were surprised by
I don't
that.
know. These club members are going to hate us because a lot of them don't believe, and we may have to do the German club tour. I'm thinking we're heading in that direction, where we're like the Hasselhoff of. Where was David Hasselhoff really big? Was it Germany at Hasselhoff? Yeah, we're going to be like David Hasselhoff. Yeah. We're going to go to Germany. And be like the biggest paranormal thing that ever happened there, which is fine by me.
But it's funny too. That came up, and I think I said it before, is that all of a sudden out of the blue, another organization reached out to us and said, "Hey, you guys do a lot of fundraising for everywhere. We're trying to do a fundraiser for a military whatever thing, and would you guys be willing to come down and set up a station and just talk to the public and maybe." Have people come. It's a hot rod thing that they're doing. Hot rod, live music, and something else. Then they're doing in Mattawan on June 23rd. It's a Sunday from 4 to 9. So we said yes. We're going to do it. Anything that helps. So, but does it hurt to pop up a tent?
I don't mind the street fairs every now and then. Yeah, honorary German. I may have to do that. I wonder what my German name would be. How do you say John in German? Is there a certain way you say that? Speaking of German Johns, there's John McGinnis, right on time, as if he was announced. But no, that's pretty cool. And that's what we've always said about New Jersey Paranormal, is that when you're not in this to make money or for the fame or to be on TV, you're really in it for the experiences and the quote-unquote the ghost adventures that you have. Hans, the paranormal savior. I like it.
So Naomi's German.
But go ahead. Yeah. But anyway, that's kind of been the perk all these years of doing this, is that every now and then, like the place in down South Jersey that contacted us, this is a city hall that's haunted that they never ever let anybody into, and that's usually. That was for like the big shows back in the day. Ghost hunters would be there and whoever else. But now, people know us in Jersey and they're calling us, which is really cool.
I think that was a big surprise when we were at the convention over the weekend, that people we didn't know were coming up and saying, "I follow you."
Yeah, they were pointing to our banner and they go,
"We know you.
I follow you.
And we're
I follow you on social media."
Like, yeah, and they come up and they just started talking and that, I think that's the biggest thing.
I expect that for me, but when it's her, I'm a bit surprised.
Henceforth, I don't talk.
Kidding.
But no, it took us by surprise when people that we'd never seen or met before just come up and like, "We know you. We didn't know you were going to be here. Why didn't you say you were going to be here? We'd have come over here first. We wouldn't have waited so long." And that kind of took us by surprise. It took us by surprise big time. And it's a humbling, I don't know how to say it, but it's like you're making connections with people you normally wouldn't make connections with, and having conversations and finding out that there's so many more things that you have in common or can share than you possibly imagine.
No, the goal isn't to be famous. I mean, being recognized, I guess, is the word. That's kind of cool. That people, I mean, I know how many people have told us through the years, which is kind of funny to me, that like, well, we did those Creeper Gallery things, or even this, they have us on their TV. We watched the Kalani episode of The Mine on the TV. And we thought that, it was cool because we didn't even talk about that.
No, we did not.
All right. Let's talk about that then. So, Kalani was with us. We like Kalani a lot. Kalani's a good dude. Those of you who don't know,
Kalani in Savannah.
Kalani Ghost Hunter. He's huge on TikTok, 3.5 million followers. He's pretty big on YouTube now. And he's just taken off, man. He's a young dude who just has his stuff together. and he's making buku money doing what he's doing. And we talked about, he came to an event with us last year at the mine and he loved it. Him and Savannah loved it. And they were always talking about coming back and filming. Unfortunately for them, they picked a week that literally we had 3-4 days of rain in a row. That water was all over the place in that mine, even on the ground. It was pretty deep. So when that happens, it gets a little harder to do things that you want to do. You don't get those real clear EVPs that you want. And what was weird about that episode, Kalani was supposed to get there at a certain time and he didn't. We were there hanging out, got there a little later. And then Kalani, it's just him, really. Savannah does her thing, but Kalani is flying the drone. Kalani and Savannah are walking around getting B-roll from everywhere. And it's funny because, again, when you get to do behind the scenes, you see that, like, how the B-roll is done.
Yeah.
And, like, he'll literally, like, walk towards something and fall forward. And, like, that's that quick shot. And we're watching him do that backwards and forwards.
It's effortless.
And it was really, really cool, again, watching all that. And then he said, well, we weren't even planning on being in the episode. We were just going to let him film because we like him. He's done events with us. He's at the expo. And he's like, I'm going to want to interview you guys. And we were like, now, here's the thing. I'm going to let you in behind the scenes. I'm going to break the fourth wall for you. We weren't prepared to go on camera.
No.
We had no idea that we were going to go on camera.
We were tired from the event before.
We had an event the night before that ran late, and we went out to eat afterwards. So we were like, we're going to let them in. We're going to hang out. We weren't wearing clothes that we would have worn if we were. And I had a hat on that had, like, sun-faded bleach spots on it. That she'll tell you that I was agonizing over because I'm like, I didn't know we were going to be on camera. I'm focusing on my hat. I kept taking pictures of it. Like, look, you can see the bleach.
With that hat.
I'm like, this is going to look like crap. So anyway, so he films us doing the interviews, and then they go in there for a while, good while. We're hanging out. They come back in, and they're like, Savannah doesn't want to go back in there. Kalani's like, I'm going to go back in there by myself, but something scared her. She doesn't want to go back in there. He said, so I'm going to go in there by myself for a while. And then at this time, I want one of you to go in there with me.
It wasn't going to be me.
So I went in there and we did a couple of EVPs. But, we didn't know. He said he was going to drop the episode the next day. So it didn't happen. It took him a while to edit it. But all the stuff you see in that video, that video was full of what was that. And there's a reason, because the mine is full with what was that. The noises around you, even with the drops, again, the mics pick it up. So it sounds louder than it does when you're in the mine. But I mean, the footsteps, the things they were seeing, the things, her getting touched on the hair and whatever, that's the way it is in that mine. And she was freaked out. And she told us she was freaked. We didn't know what happened. She's like, I'm not going back in there. I'm not going back in there. So we were like, what?
I warned her. I was very honest, and I'm honest with anybody that I'm terrified of their certain part of that mine. I don't like going through it alone. I will run, literally, this old butt will run through that section to get out of there because it terrifies me. And she even said, I thought you were full of crap. She says, but that place scared the crap out of me, and I do not want to go back in. It's a serious place. So
we had a good time with them, the whole day before. And that day, we just went out afterwards. Everything was closed. So we went out to, where did we go? Quick Check or something? Or Wawa?
Wawa.
We went out and hung out while we ate, like, gross biscuit egg sandwiches. And we just had a good time. It was good seeing them. And they're actually going to come back and film somewhere else. With I don't know if we're going to be involved in it or not. But at one of our other places that we deal with, I don't want to tell you because I don't want to ruin his episode. So that's probably going to be in 2 weeks. They're going to come back and film again. And again, Kalani, he not only does the ghost stuff, but you guys may have seen he does these food reviews where he told me some restaurant in the UK paid him $8,000 just to go in there and try a hamburger. And he said, I'm not going to guarantee you a good review. And they were like, we just want you to come in and say you were here. So, again, good on him, man. He's doing really, really well, you know. So we have a good time with him. And he wants to work with us again on anything or come to an event, you know. Savannah's really, really cool. They're just, you know what's cool about them
down to earth
is that they're young, and even with all of his success, and he's making some money now, those two are still really grounded in each other. You know what I mean? You see that when they're together, you know, because we got to spend some time with them and really talk to them, and they have their heads on straight. They kind of know what they want in their relationship, and they're dealing with the attention that he's gotten over the UK. He said it's people recognize him
running
everywhere.
Up to him and stuff. But they don't lose their sense of anything. They're just very grounded, very sensible people, and see things very clearly in it.
That's a good point, Laura.
And I did want to say too that Veronica had an experience in that section where Savannah. And I told them that that's part, and they went up in that area by themselves, and they got to see for themselves how it changes right there in that spot. It gets dark quick.
Well, here's the thing too, and this is what I mean about never knowing what to expect with different people in different places doing the same thing or things a little differently. They didn't have a lot of equipment go off at all, and it was strange to me watching that because he even said to us when he came out. He's like, the equipment. I'm like, wow, that's really weird because there are areas that we can pretty much guarantee.
Well, his comment was, the mind gives you so much, you don't need the equipment.
Yeah, but even so, it was like, we can go in areas where it happens.
Yeah.
You know, when we're in there, not all the time, but you take the skip area, you're guaranteed when we go in there, but we've been in there so many times. And then that main corridor, we've had cat balls go off on every end of that thing. And
line them up and
static domes light up. So it's really interesting to see what other people, whereas the two other people that were helping us, Taryn and Joss, they got a ton of EVPs.
Yeah, they had a really good night.
And they were two females. So I love it because, again, if you're a student of the paranormal, it is really interesting. And this is what somebody brought up on somebody's post that they made on one of these social media pages. With the younger people doing it, and no offense to the younger people, but like TikTokers and all that, the paranormal research part of it is getting lost in the sauce. It's more sensational, you know, stuff, and the research part of it is really getting kind of pushed to the side, and it shouldn't be. We made it a part of our events from the time we started. Our events back in the old days, they started with, I used to do an intro video of the building, kind of creepy, black and white. Then I'd show, I would do a paranormal ghost hunting 101, talk about the equipment like everybody else does. And then I would show actual evidence clips of the things we captured. This was before we even started the event. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
And I stopped that because we'd have to lug this big TV with us. We'd have to bring a DVD player and extension cords.
A lot to set that up.
Yeah, we got too old to be doing that stuff. So, but the teaching part of it is always part of it. Even if some lectures are longer or shorter, we try to give you at least a little bit of the theory / research part of it, along with the equipment part of it, just to give you a working knowledge, at least an idea of what we're doing and how we're doing it, rather than just let's go into this creepy mine with the lights out and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, you got to kind of, but the research part of it, and it's weird how different people do different things. Like, you talk to some people like Amy Brody. Amy Brody wants to research everything, before she steps foot in a building. Nothing wrong with that. The history, the families who lived there, ancestry, blah blah blah. Other people like Jason Hawes doesn't want to know a damn thing. He wants to go in unbiased, so that whoever he's talking to and whatever he's talking to is just in the moment.
You're going to find out as you go, like a conversation, getting to know.
Both those things work.
Yeah.
There is no right, there is no wrong, but
or a little bit of both.
Or a little bit of both, or some more than the other. I like to know a little bit. Give me some names. Some names are helpful, just so I could, if nothing is happening, I could call out to these people and see if it makes a difference. But I'm more about experimenting with the environment and the place that we are, using different methods. And that's part of the experimental research part that I like. Seeing, okay, we're in the mine, we got equipment, EVPs in this one area. Now let's go back in that area and try something different, maybe with different people.
So something happened with the mine that John was totally unaware of. I had a group of people in the mine, and I had gotten a list from one of the people at the mine, the different nicknames off of their, they have a newsletter thing that they did, and I looked one up from years ago, and it literally had a list of all of the nicknames of the different miners that were there, and they were very unique nicknames. So in my group, I had expressed that to people so they could use that to see if we could bring the miners out. And one of the guys there asked about Tricky Dicky. That was his name. We got nothing. They go into John's group, and what happens? They ask, "Can you tell us who you are?" Tricky Dicky came out.
Oh, somebody asked for a nickname.
He asked for a nickname, and Tricky Dicky came out. It's literally said Tricky Dicky, and John goes, "Well, And they said, "No, that's the nickname of the miner," because John didn't know. So it went from my area inside the mine using the nickname to someone asking in another area where John had no idea what is your nickname, and Tricky Dicky came out, and it was pretty cool. And every once in a while we'll get response to that.
Yeah, even people that we were with a couple of days ago, might have been yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. They had investigated the mine before, and they said they felt claustrophobic in the mine itself, so they were kind of apprehensive about going too far down in, but they said most of the evidence they got was in the office and the other buildings.
Yeah.
Which, again, very cool. Very cool.
Well, I don't know if most people know that, but there's the snack bar place where you can go after the bathrooms are at, and you can go get a snack. And you can hear things. Like John and I were sitting in that room, and we had been told before by the women that worked there that there was a miner there that passed away, and he'd be really concerned about the women. So when he was out in the mine, or he'd be walking around, he'd come through the back door, and he would walk through by the snack bar to check to make sure that the women were okay while they were working, especially if they were there late at night. And sure enough, and people say that stuff happens there all the time. You hear the door that nobody uses. We don't use it. We don't use it for the event. You'll hear the door open and close, and you'll hear somebody walking behind where the snack bar is, behind the snack bar where there's nobody. And it's really, really eerie, and it's strange. And it was very unique to have that experience, because we wouldn't have had that if we hadn't have been in there while we were waiting for Kalani and Savannah.
Yeah, we had just heard earlier in the night while they were still there that a medium had come through there and said, "This window is a portal." And I was like, "It is." And they're like, "Yeah, the medium that was here said she could see all the past miners walking in this area past that window." And I went over to the window and I was like, nothing, and it was funny that we were in there, and then stuff started to happen. I saw a comment about something here I wanted to read. Last year, when I came up to Liberty Hall, Samantha came through in our group. I'm in the carriage hospital. Later that night, Samantha came through in the main.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You never know what it's going to follow through to, and if it's going to keep resonating in another area.
That's why a lot of people do things differently. when I investigate, when I investigate, I build upon group to group to group to group. I tell the group after what happened with the group before, just so we have a frame of reference. So if the name did come through, Bob, guess what? Well, Bob came through. Do we want to ask Bob more questions? Let's do that. If not, we can just ask random questions just to see if we could build upon that rapport and find out more about Bob. If Bob came through once, obviously Bob was here, he's listening. Why wouldn't we try to talk to Bob through every group and every session? And, here's the thing, too. I just want to mention this as well because people that have been to our events, they know this. If you haven't, explain it to you now. There are events where you can, quote unquote, free roam, meaning they'll take you around once or they don't take you around at all. And then they let you run free and do whatever you want to do, wherever you want to do it. And that's great for some. And I don't begrudge anybody doing that, at all. But our events were never, ever designed for free roam. One of the reasons being because there is a liability issue for especially places like the Mine and Liberty Hall. People aren't going to be allowed to wander around because if you got hurt, guess who you're suing? You're probably going to sue New Jersey Paranormal and then you're going to sue the Mine. So there's a liability issue. And the other issue is we always wanted to be involved with our groups. And part of being with New Jersey Paranormal on a quote unquote ghost hunt is being with New Jersey Paranormal. That's the big rub for us when it comes to certain celebrities or well-known people who come on our events. I say to her all the time, if it's me and Jason Hawes, for instance, I'm a big Jason Hawes fan, Grant, Zach Baggins. If I paid to be on a ghost hunt with Zach Baggins, I wouldn't want to just be on a 4-hour ghost hunt with Zach peeking his head in every now and then going, hey, what you doing here? Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Okay. Watch for a minute and then leave. I would want Zach to be at least in one full session with me, whatever that means. If that's 20 minutes, a half hour, an hour, I'd want to be able to say, there he was.
I spent
time with him. I was engaged and involved in a session with Zach Baggins. That's, again. So when we have people with us, it's sort of, we kind of try to push that on them and say, hey, look, you're with us. This isn't just kind of a stand around thing. We'd like you to get engaged. We'd like to get involved because if I'm that guy or that person paying for this, that's what I want. But people have different, I guess, goals or notions than I do because I know there are people, no knock against these people for doing what they do and how they do it. But I know that a lot of times Steve and Dave Tango will go to the Southern Mansion by Cape May, and they'll load that building with 100 people, and they just kind of wander around, see what people are doing, and they're there, and people love being with them and hanging out with them. I could see that too, but for a quote-unquote ghost hunt, I want to be involved. So our idea always has been and always will be, if you're ghost hunting with New Jersey Paranormal, you are with New Jersey Paranormal. You're part of it. You're with us. You're in a group with me. You're part of my group in that session. We're doing it together. So
it's not us telling Dory and you just sitting there. You come in my group, you come in John's group. We're all going to do this together. It is a group effort. We are engaged in it, and we're all, because maybe something won't respond to me, but it's going to respond to you, and it's going to. So it is. It's about us experimenting together.
So I mean, that's just, again, there's a lot of different people that do things differently, but I've always been honest about the way we do things, and people try to spin a way of doing it, and the free roam gets mentioned. And I'm all for free roam. If you want to go to events to do that, and you know what you're doing, by all means, go do it. Why not? But when you're with us, you're with us. Yeah. So, and Heather's right. Heather
when you're with the paranormal saver,
who wouldn't want to investigate with the paranormal saver?
I mean, John is trying to work out where there'll be a time where you'll do an overnight at the Mine where people will be able to go in. It'll be a limited number of people that you'll get to go in.
There's like the Mine. 5 people, 6 at the most per group, Tim. We've never, ever, we could overcrowd every event we've ever done. We could do it easily with the amount of requests that we get for events. If we wanted to do the small business where we're making sure we make money along with whatever site that we support, we could have 10 people per group like that.
Yeah, it's
no problem.
But that's not fun.
Why ruin it for you? Because you'll never come back. And we were talking to people who at Penhurst this last weekend, they had their ghost hunts, and there were a lot of people on those ghost hunts, and there were people that were coming up to me at my table going, I was on the ghost hunt last night, but someone said they got a voice or whatever, but there was all these people around. But you're not going in that place to get EVPs, not with a bunch of people, but there's so much else that could happen
You're
in
just
that
going
place,
in
in
to
any
experience a
place. You always have to tailor your investigation based upon the building you're in and what the conditions are.
Yeah.
If you're in a building that's like the Creeper Gallery, where it's on a main road and you got people upstairs, odds are you're going to take that recorder and go, and you're going to figure out another way. That's why I preach so much about using the equipment and doing different experiments, because I never want to limit myself to one method of communication, ever.
Yeah, because you could be dead in the water.
Laura, not dead in the water. It's about I'm only giving them one option.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do
that? But
that?
if you have interference like with the recorder, you're dead in the water. If you have to throw it out and you have nothing else. Laura, that means an awful lot for you to say that you feel safe when you're with us, because that is important. You do have to feel comfortable when you're going out with people and know that they have your back and you're secure. So that is really something that you said that. So thank you.
I always preach to people. Let's say, again, I say this in my lecture all the time too. Let's say I relied on EVP and speak only for communication with spirits. Let's say that's the only thing I relied on. That means one shot, just like what happened to me with Dead Files. One shot, one time, in one place or two where I'm trying. Now, let's say I'm with someone, a person, and we're having a hard time, no language, whatever. And the most I could do was go, just to know that we're present with each other and that they're there, is take this water bottle and go, and then point at them, and they go, oh. And then we just, let's say that's the minimal amount of interaction I could get with another person. Yeah. At least I know they're present and they're responding intelligently. This is what we're looking for, you know? Last time I was at the mine, we were in the lower part of the office bedroom, and the books kept hearing a lot of noises. I am one of those people where my reactions during investigations is 100% genuine. I mean, I'm in the moment with everyone, and I am there as New Jersey Paranormal, but I'm also there as someone who's ghost hunting for 4 hours. Yeah. I'm waiting for the stuff to happen. I'm wanting it to happen. And when it does, I'm reacting like, whoa, shit, oh crap. You guys, and I love it. It's an adrenaline rush for me, you know? I've
gotten more into really, if you're a regular that comes all the time, I push you more. I push you to be more on your own. I had Kathy with equipment in one section all by herself. I had someone down in the dark tent. I had someone behind that where that spirit likes to hide. And then I had like Veronica and them going one at a time with somebody watching, doing in the area that's really, so it's pushing that envelope to see what's going to happen with each. And I gotta say, it seems like the activity's ramped up just a bit lately in that area. I don't know why or what for, but I definitely get a lot more interaction when it's women. Isn't that crazy? There's something about isolating
women. Work in the mine.
I know, and the men there, it's insane.
But again, it's just, this field is just so different in so many aspects. It's like we all have the same goal. I don't even know if you would call it a goal. the same ideal, I guess, is to communicate with spirits and find out as much as we can about whatever exists beyond the physical life. That seems to be the only common thread. Um, some people want to help people exclusively. That's all they want to do is try to help people, and others want to just go in a building and do whatever, and that all that stuff is fine. There is no bad part of that, but um, it's we're it's so different with different groups and different things and different people, and that when you do find people that are like you, and that happened, this past weekend. The people that came up to us that I'd never met before, when we were talking, it was like such an exchange of ideas and stuff. And I've been doing this a long time, so I've done some more than most. You know, like the newer groups, they're just starting out and they're just starting to go into whatever building or that building or that building, and they're trying to do different things. And I've done a lot of stuff since we started. So it's cool to talk to them about that and you see them nod and get the idea. And then we talk about different ways to do things and theories. Like there was, oh God, I can't remember their name, but it was father, son. The other son wasn't there, and the son's best friend. That was their group, which I thought was really cool because, the father was there with the son. The other son wasn't present, but the son's best friend, that was, you know, and we're talking and we're talking. And right away, talking to them, they're trying to get their own thing going where they're doing events and stuff. And I'm just like, just talking to you guys now, I could see you're different. You have different personalities. And we just started talking about the different things that one likes to do as opposed to that one and that one. And it was just, like I said.
That's what makes a good team.
Yeah, and the dad was really like, he was trying to encourage the others to, like, you know what I mean? It was just so cool to see the father kind of leading and teaching and
mentoring.
And I was like, boy, this would have never happened 20, 30 years ago. Never. And like my son, I say this all the time, zero interest in the paranormal. Yet my daughter is trying to convince me to get her into Trenton State Mental Hospital.
She was today. It was hysterical.
She's like, you're getting me in this. You got to get me in here. And
you got to have some kind of hold.
I don't think they're getting anybody in there. And she's like, no, you're going to get me in there. I said, sure, I'll give it a go. But again, it's when you do this as long as we've done it, the thrill is still there, and we do still enjoy doing what we do. It's just like next year. Like I already start thinking about next year, and I know that's crazy because we're in May, but you think about what's the evolution when you've been doing something as long as you've been doing it. How do you keep that fire going and do things differently and still?
I don't see the fire dying in you any. John, see, we were talking about this earlier about when people come into a place that we really love and there's activity and the expectation of what we think is going to happen because we've had it happen and it doesn't happen with people. Are they going to be disappointed and not come back? And we always say this, there's nothing guaranteed ever. Anywhere you go, we can't produce. If the spirit's going to communicate, it's going to communicate. If it's not, it's not. We don't know the reason or the whys. We don't have the answer. But even for us, like if we go in someplace and like the mind terrifies me. And when people walk out of there and they're just like, yeah, not much really, this happened, but yeah, not like what happened with you. And it's just like, he'll sit there and he'll say like, what do you do when somebody goes into these places and the expectation that we have and the expectation of the people that come? John stresses over that all of the time. And I keep trying to tell him that there's always all the things that are happening. Like it may not happen in my section right there, but over by the skip where Tanya is, she blows it out. There's something that happens over there. Or you'll have someone over in the Geo building there's something will happen over there instead, or something will happen in the office, or something will happen in the Zobel. There's never a time where we have been there, or even at Camp Evans is another one that something's always happening somewhere. And that's not the norm. It just doesn't happen. Like we'll meet at the end of the night and we'll be talking and we'll feel like, yeah, the energy level just all of a sudden they'll be like really high up here and stuff's going crazy. And then it's almost like something changed and you just don't know, and you don't know where it went. And then you find out that it crossed over on the other side with someone else, it ramped up. So are they moving around going from, is it because they're attracted to a certain person that's there? So we still don't have the answer to any of these things, the rhyme or reason of why they come out, when they come out, and how they come out to communicate with us. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay. You looked at me like I was silly. Your daughter wants to go into camp. Camp Evans pretty good.
Worried about John Zaffis bringing a winter storm.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that hasn't happened yet.
We had a tornado. What else do we have?
Taylor Swift
concert that blocked up all of, we couldn't get into a hotel or anything. There was other stuff that kept happening.
No, whenever I say we, just know that I'm talking about me, because I like to give everyone credit, but the truth is that I organize everything and put it all together and sell the tickets and do whatever. So me, just keep that in mind. So we are trying to plan something big for September 14th at Centenary University. Preliminary discussions with
that is all you.
Someone from TV who we haven't worked with before. We're trying to work it out so that we'll see if we can make it all work. But it would be like another Steve Gonzalez event, lecture, meet and greet, ghost hunt. But this person, someone we never worked with, never did an event with, but it'd be really cool to bring that person to the college and have them do a lecture and then do a ghost hunt as well. So it's in the early stages of kind of the back and forth. So hopefully we can make it happen, and we should be able to make an announcement, I don't know, soon. And, it's one of these things where, like I said, the evolution of New Jersey Paranormal, like the things I'm thinking about for next year, still involve places we've been and things we like to do, but it's going to expand. Yeah, I don't want to say too much because, as soon as I say it, it'll be someone else's idea 5 minutes from now, their original idea. So I don't want to say it. But it's going to be different next year, and less events, but different types and different things, but better for us and for you, because it'll be, like I said, I don't want to get into too much of it, but it'll be different. It needs to be, because we want to do things a little different too. We're not getting any younger. We enjoy doing the events. We enjoy doing this together, but it's just we got to find a happy medium in the things we really want to do and the things we're doing going forward. So that'll be next year. I am thinking ahead, because we're scheduled now all the way till November 30th is the last event, and I haven't locked in November 16th at the prison. I still haven't locked that in yet. Yeah, I know, Celine. But you're not lying about that, though. Because literally, after I say something here, there's live streams or announcements on other pages saying the exact same thing in the exact same words, like 10 minutes later. So, but anyway, like I said, I want to, we're booked out for this year as far as we haven't announced the Hoover event yet, because we're still unsure of what that's going to look like. So this year's kind of done. I mean, we have the expo. We're planning bigger things for the expo. I mean, not so much involving the lineup. We have our lineup pretty much set in stone. We would add someone if we thought it was someone we really wanted there. Um, but there's going to be a brand new exhibit room that's going to be freaking amazing, and we may be bringing something else to it that's going to make it really, really cool to just have there.
Do this, because if this can work out, it's going to be really freaking cool.
So you're going to want to come to the expo. I mean, it's going to be.
Hey, Brian.
It's going to be crazy this year, and last year was such a good time, and everybody again appreciated the fact that we weren't crazy anymore, we weren't in the heat anymore, and people just had a good time. And this year we're really pulling out all the stops. So make plans to come November 2nd or the 3rd. If you went to the prison, warmer weather, the galas would be easier. Not going to happen. Or you go to that prison in the summertime, you're going to die. No pun intended. It gets hot as hell.
Better than that, Patricia. If we can work it, it's better than that.
Patricia, that may be your idea of fun.
Annabelle.
Annabelle's not real. It's made up. Anyway, did I say that out loud? But no, Annabelle will never be at our convention. That's somebody else's deal. Send down the best events ever.
It is freezing during that time, unfortunately.
Usually it's freezing. Oh, it was grateful to hear Liberty Hall has some
air conditioning.
Yeah, Liberty Hall, the carriage house will be hot. And guess who's always in there?
He loves being there.
I'll tell you a story about. We used to do this building, small building, but pretty active. The basement was active, unfortunately. The basement was active. And there were talks about slaves being down there, and maybe there was a fire, and some slaves had died down there, and it is active. Problem with the basement was hot as hell in the summer, cold as hell in the winter, and in the summer, bugs everywhere.
Galore.
All I keep saying when I talk about that building, same thing like I talk about the mine in that little corner. Picture, if you're our age, the Indiana Jones movie, Temple of Doom. They go into that tunnel and they light the torch, and the bugs are the walls are moving because there's so many bugs.
That was that place.
You literally go down in that basement, you turn the lights off, all you feel is
you don't want to be anywhere near the
critters
walls.
Crawling all over you in the dark.
Beams, nothing.
And I would just tell people, just deal with it. We're going to have a good time. This place is active, and holy crap, there's so many bugs. And we went to the Shanley, I don't know how many years ago, but it was middle of July.
It was.
And there's no air conditioning on the 3rd floor. And I was up there. I sweat through my shirt 5 minutes setting up there.
In between,
and I was up there the whole entire night.
In between, like when we were rotating our groups, I would literally run him up a drink because he was so saturated. It was so hot up there.
No, I got a funny cave cricket story for you.
Yeah, I don't get along with spiders either.
We were in a building that has since been condemned, and nobody can get into. Structurally, it's bad. And, we set up cameras everywhere. And we let them run for hours and hours and hours while we weren't in the building. And there were a lot of cave crickets in the basement. And after I'm reviewing the evidence from them, looking over all the cameras, all of a sudden I see it looks like a Godzilla movie. I see the legs on the camera, and then the face looks right in the lens, and it's IR, so it's illuminated, and looked just like a Godzilla movie. The thing looked at, bent his head back and forth, and then walked away. And I was like, I got to keep this video. I got to keep this video.
That was a good one, too.
But this is why we were talking about orbs with Todd, who was on here the other day, and ring camera footage.
Yeah.
Orbs are real in some cases. I'm not saying that all orbs are not spirits. The orbs that we capture that I would show people and say there might be something here, there are literally 3 different kinds. First one we captured was a ball of light, literally light, and it pulsated light down the hallway. You saw the walls as it went down.
That's pretty cool.
Coolest thing I've ever seen as far as an anomaly. Second one was,
and it went from the first floor, and then we had cameras on the second floor, and all of a sudden it appeared on the second floor, right, and went right by the camera doing the same thing.
Second one was in the building I was just talking to you about the cave cricket. The person who,
Oh, that was cool.
to whatever person who lived in the premises and looked after the caretaker. She said when she plays the piano, she feels like she's being watched and there's people around her. So we said,
play the piano.
So we set up an IR camera. We just watched her. We were watching her, but then I reviewed the camera. This anomaly came from the ceiling. It went left past her, then came back above her head about here and just hovered. Just stayed there. And then it slowly went down in front of her before it drifted off to the side. Never have I seen a piece of dust or bug do that. And then the third one was, this one went across the screen, stopped, kept going, triggered static detector, EMF detector, and a SLS figure popped up all at the same time.
Yeah, and that's unheard of. Tim wanted to know if you have the video anywhere where they could see the.
Oh yeah, I posted it several times. It's on our
orb.
TikTok. It was on here. I'll pull it up as a clip when we come back on again. I captured it. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And here's the thing. We were in there dead of winter. So people call them different things. When I was a kid, we called them lightning bugs. People call them fireflies or whatever. Mm-hmm. There was no fireflies in January.
And it came from a room that we were told by someone that it was a donation room at the church, that room had bad juju and there was something dark in there. And that's exactly where that thing came out of.
Well, Judy Kay was the one who told us. Judy Kay's a medium. She said, John, I go in that basement. I go into the donation room. Somebody put something in there and brought some bad juju with it. There's bad energy that comes from that room. And sure enough, ball of light, shoot, right out of that room, down the hall, up the stairwell. Really quick. Lightning bugs on North America, the rest of the country says firefly. Yeah, we always call them lightning bugs. Again, I don't know what anybody else called them. But when you see us next, whether you catch it live or not, we're meeting John tomorrow around noon. We're going to go right to the Creeper Gallery. So if it's lunchtime, check it out or check it out later. We'll be filming John in the store. We'll be filming John looking at the objects. We'll probably be doing a little discussion with him and Donna maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how it goes. But again, you'll be able to see some of it live, and it should be really, really cool seeing him there for the first time.
You and John Zaffis together with Donna, it's going to be very interesting. I have no doubts.
I mean, again, this is a guy who, if you saw how many objects he has, Donna has nothing compared to him.
Oh,
his is literally
endless.
Floor to ceiling,
glossy,
wall to wall, stuff everywhere. So I'm curious about, again, John's a pretty good guy. I'll tell you what about John Zaffis. He, because he studied under Ed and Lorraine, and you could think about them whatever you want. I have my opinions on him as well. Because he studied under them and with so many other people, John's very well versed in Catholic religion, Jewish religion,
all different things.
Buddhism.
He's made himself
very well
open
versed.
to it.
But John is a guy who can diagnose things very, very quick. And I watched him do this at least twice with people in front of me, where people will come up to him and tell him about something, and he's like, that's because you have this, and this might have happened. And they went,
and he'll ask key questions that are like right on.
Bam. So curious to see what he says about that room and what kind of vibes he get. You can watch hoping he comes on before my. Well, like I said, we'll be there at 12. So if I had to guess, between 12 and 1 is when we'll be doing most of our lives, and then we'll get something to eat. And the guy has a long drive in Jersey Shore traffic to his hotel. So that's it for tonight, guys.
Yeah,
we'll see you tomorrow from the Creeper Gallery, the new Creeper Gallery, 129 South Main Street, New Hope, Pennsylvania. Go there, check it out if you can. We'll make a date to where we have one of these weekends where we're not doing an event. We'll let you guys know when we're going there, so you guys can come hang out with us and check out the shop. All right. We
Have
shall
a
see
good
you.
night. Stay safe. Stay healthy, and please remember to be kind to each other. Good night, everybody.